Mhm. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. This is Khurju Patidar, the Digital Marketing Executive from InstaMD. Today, I welcome you all on the fifth episode of Pitch Point, and we have come a long way since this is the fifth episode of Pitch Point. We have already done the past four. So, before starting this episode, I would like to introduce you about our panel members and about the topic and the concept of Pitch Point, as always I do. So, before let me share the slide. Uh, Please wait for a few seconds till then. Okay, so a warm welcome again. This is the fifth episode of Pitch Point, and the topic for today is Train to Win, Field Force, and Clinic Effectiveness. Before starting, I would like to introduce you about the concept of Pitch Point. And so Pitch Point, it is a signature online webinar series by Expert on Board and designed to bring together the thoughts of leaders, innovators, and professionals from the pharma space. Powered by InstaMD, Pitchpoint was born from a simple yet powerful idea to create a space where experience meets innovation and real-world insight inspire action. It is organized by Expert on Board, and Expert on Board, it is a bridging platform which fills the gap between pharma professionals having immense expertise and experience with the pharma students, professionals, and enthusiasts who aspire to achieve more in pharma. Now, coming on to our panel part, we have got a fantastic panel for today, guys. And let me introduce you to the panel members one by one. Firstly, I will start with the Sahil Poddar sir. He is currently the head of marketing in Dr. Reddy's, and with over 17 years across pharma and medical devices, he currently leads the Orient BU at Dr. Reddy's, studying a portfolio of powerhouse brands valuing 300 crores. His experience spans key roles at Zydus, J&J Codman, Integra, and now at Dr. Reddy's, where he launched breakthroughs brands and built new business verticals from the ground up. What truly sets him apart, it is his ability to bring people together, guide teams with clarity, and create an environment where ideas turn into impact. Whether launching India's top derma brand or driving award-winning rural healthcare, his journey reflects thoughtful leadership, deep market insight, and a strong sense of purpose. Now, coming on to our second speaker for today, it is Pratik Bhatt sir. Is currently serving as a group product manager at Glenmark and has over 13 years of experience across pharma brands like Glenmark, Eris Life Sciences, and Bharat Serums, and many more. He has consistently driven high impact growth across RX, OTX, IVF, hormones, antifungals, and medical devices. From reviving multi-crore brands to launching industry-first initiatives, his journey reflects a rare blend of strategic acumen and creative storytelling. He is a people-first leader. He is known for mentoring teams, uniting cross-functional efforts, and delivering purpose-driven marketing. He is currently leading the Glenmark Iconic Candid franchisee, and he continues to shape brands that not only perform but also makes a difference. Now, I feel very delighted and excited to welcome again Anil Fernandez sir. I feel really exciting to be honest to host him again because he was with the first episode of Pitch Point, the debut episode of Pitch Point, and now again he is here. So his consistently support us and yes. So he has over 30 years of rich experience in across healthcare, academics, and consulting. Anil Fernandez, sir, he stands as a visionary leader, coach, and a strategic advisor. Having led marketing at Sanofi and Abbott, he now drives transformation as a founder of Slim Solutions, offering expertise in business strategy, brand building, and capability development. Widely respected for his ability to inspire teams, nurture talent, and unlock potential. He is also a trusted mentor, visiting faculty, and a corporate coach shaping the next generation of business leaders. Through the Slim Talks, he continues to influence and elevate industry conversations. Through his platform Slim Talks, he continues to share actionable perspective and ignite meaningful conversation in healthcare and beyond. and we are really excited and delightful to have him again. Now, coming on to the moderator of today's episode, as well as the founder of Expert on Board, none other than Dr. ICS Pharma sir. So, he is currently the founder of Expert on Board, a platform built on his belief that experience gains true value when shared. With over 25 years of experience in the pharma and healthcare industries, he has led digital transformation at Cipla, managed global operations, and drove leadership development initiatives. Recognizing the need for practical wisdom and cross-generational mentoring, he launched Expert on Boards to bridge the gap between theory and real-world insight in the pharma sales and marketing. He is a respected professor of practice and visiting faculty at institutions like NIPER and many more. Dr. Verma continues to inspire future leaders through mentorship, collaboration, and industry-driven learning. Now, that was all about our panel members. We are really excited, and of course, we'll be having a fantastic discussion ahead on the topic. Now, following that, I would like to introduce you about InstaMD. It is the powering partner for PitchPoint, and it is actually an AI-powered specialized SFA and CRM platform built exclusively for the pharma industry. It is trusted by 50 plus top pharma brands like Cipla, Sun Pharma, Zydus, Lupin, and many more. InstaMD, it is a one-stop solution for PMTs, field force, doctors, and chemists. With over 300 customizable digital activities, it helps automate operations, enhance engagement, and drive growth. Any Excel format can be instantly transformed into a digital workflow, making pharma marketing smarter and faster. Now, I would like to have ICS Verma sir over here to take over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushbu and InstaMD for a wonderful introduction of the entire panel. So, yeah. So we have got as she told that we have got a power-packed, panel to discuss on something very, very essential in the pharma sales and marketing. So we'll be discussing on, and this is a continuation of our last episode, which we discussed about in-clinic effectiveness. What I can say is ICE, the in-clinic effectiveness. And in the last episode, we had two of the leaders from training and development has come, and also with Mr. Hariram Krishnan sir, who is a coach. So basically, they spoke more on from the training perspective, and just that's what once somebody joins the organization, their role starts and their role continues till they are in the organization. So when we talk about in-clinic effectiveness, most of the times, whenever you talk about anything, you always come to ask one thing: why? The question of why. Why do we need it, or do we really need it? So today we'll start with why, and also we'll find out how and what. So all those questions will be addressed by all the three leaders from marketing, because Anil sir also spent a lot of his career in marketing. So that's why we invited Anil sir to this forum, and Shahil and Pratik are currently into marketing with they have been into leadership roles from many years and been leading top brands. So I think this is a very perfect panel to discuss on in-clinic effectiveness from marketing perspective. So welcome Anil sir, Shahil and Pratik.
Yeah, thank you, ICS, for the warm welcome, and Khushbu as well for the introduction of the panelists. So I thanks InstaMD and the expert on board. You guys are doing a great job, helping students, young leaders in sales and marketing to understand how they can learn and grow further in their career. So it's an opportunity for me to share my experience.
Great. Yeah, Pratik, your words, please.
Yeah, I think thank you so much for the warm welcome. I think it's a great opportunity to set the new narrative for the pharma industry. I think a lot has been spoken about the traditional methods and newer avenues for pharma. I think this is one opportunity where experience and expertise can come together and drive information to the listeners. So I think that's a fantastic platform by InstaMD and Expert on Board.
Thank you for the intro, Anil sir. your words of intro.
Good morning to all our viewers. And as Dr. ICS Sharma said, it's indeed a great pleasure to be back again on this platform once again for the 5th episode. I've been following ExpertOnBoard and PitchPoint very closely on LinkedIn platforms, and I'm really happy to see the growth as well as the contribution that it's making. So this is a start which is picking up, and hopefully with the support of all our industry colleagues, I think we will mutually learn from each other, enrich each other, and
Yes.
pick up the emerging trends that will contribute to making our talent and our industry more dynamic and vibrant. So good luck to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So, as we discussed in the beginning, let's start with why. So, why do we need in-clinic effectiveness? So, this is an open question. Probably any one of you can, address.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. ICS. I think this is a very relevant question. When I see, 40 years back, when we have not entered in the pharma industry, people used to say, okay, a rep going to a X station, doctor used to visit to a particular railway station or a bus stand to meet him, to understand, to get the sample. So that kind of a thought process was there 40 years ago. 20 years ago, when I see industry, there was a right balance. There was a companies which were visiting, even a rep going and discussing about the product, engaging doctor through science, art, or commerce. Science means the scientific discussion, or maybe the relationship building, or maybe the commerce, the engagement which they do. That was also good enough to get the business outcome. But when today we see there are 40 or 50 companies are visiting on daily basis, and a rep get hardly 30 seconds. Hardly 30 seconds they get inside the clinic, and it become more relevant that in these 30 seconds, how our rep should discuss the brand part, how he can solve the patient as well as the doctor's problem. So that was the thought process which should be there. And this in-clinic effectiveness, what I am saying is now companies are changing. The reason is this is yielding to the bottom line. This in-clinic effectiveness is directly proportional to the business outcome. So that's why it become more and more relevant in today's world compared to the earlier generations were there.
Great.
I think,
Yeah, please add your perspective.
yeah, I think rightly put by Sahil, the healthcare space has evolved over the last 45 years, that what we have seen. And, from the time that we have seen the industry and we have seen the engagement with the doctor, I think a lot has got to do with the impact than the frequency. A lot of emphasis has been on, meeting the doctor thrice or 4 times, or maybe ex-doctor 5 times. So, more than the frequency, I think what is begin to matter is the impact, because you're in a crowded market. The healthcare dynamics are evolving every day. The access to information is far more better than what we had over the last 40 years, thanks to the internet. Uh, the value chain of healthcare, starting from the rep to the doctor, what kind of value proposition that the rep brings to the doctor, really determines these days how much of an importance the rep gets in the chamber. So I think value proposition from us, not only from a scientific aspect, but also, how can he be one a partner for the doctor and one partner for the patient. I think balancing both the sides become really important, and I think it's a very nuanced skill to have. That's where in-clinic effectiveness really plays an important role, right from understanding the business priorities to the patient priorities and to the client priorities. I think he has to do a lot of balancing act, today's modern rep. And it also evolves from the therapy you are in, whether you're in acute, chronic, specialty, or operating at an account manager level in medical devices. I think your role evolves continuously, especially when you are progressing in your personal career as well. So I think that's where building a framework of in-clinic effectiveness really helps you, one, have bring back a certain value to the medical rep, and have some importance in the clinic chamber, in the doctor's chamber, and also bring out some value to the patients alike. I think those are a few points that I would really want to highlight.
Great. I think great perspective. Anil sir, would like to.
If you look at a average doctor today, on an average, I think a doctor meets about 15 to 20 medical reps on an average, and each rep would actually be exposing them to 6 to 7 products. So in a day, typically a doctor goes to 120 to 150 minimum products, different types of messages. And by and large, most of these products are very similar in nature, completely me too. So what really is the doctor going to remember, and how does your brand stand out? We often talk about a differentiator, right, that we bring into our operations or into our efforts in the clinic. We also need to appreciate the fact that in-clinic effectiveness also is a key differentiator. The question is, what kind of seriousness do we attribute to in-clinic effectiveness as a value proposition, which can be a real differentiator that will stand out in the clutter and drive the efficiency of the call, converting a lead, into productivity. So that is what we really need to look at. And this can only happen, if we change the paradigm of how we look at our people. See, in every organization, people are at the very center. The human capital is always at the center. How do we look at our field force, the frontliners? Are they just resources, or do we consider them as a capability? And therein lies the difference between effort and output. The very change in the outlook, from resource to capability should reorient and repivot all our thoughts in terms how we can empower our reps today in a digital and technical era, using all the tools to understand the customer much more effectively, to arrive at a reasonable degree of predictive analytics, which is going to help you predictive the behavior of each doctors in the future based on their current responses and current reactions. And therefore, the rep can be more customized in terms of, channelizing the call effort and channelizing the resources where it really matters to work towards converting a lead into efficiency, that's productivity. So my take here is that this can never happen till we relook, at our approach towards the rep. Is she just a resource, or is my rep today a capability that I have, which is a key differentiator for me to make a difference versus my peers in the marketplace?
Yeah, wonderful, sir. So I think so all three of you have given a different perspective for the same question of why. As I could understand, Shahil spoke more about how it is going to actually, turn into a business, because if your in-clinic effectiveness is not there, definitely you will not have outcome. And Pratik spoke more about the stakeholder management, and because you are the key player in stakeholder management, definitely should have an in-clinic effectiveness. And you spoke about technology and the today's challenges. Basically, how why we need to have in-clinic effectiveness. Can we move to the understanding of how we are doing it? Because probably Shahil and Pratik can actually bring a lot of insights on this. Because from marketing perspective, how you are currently improving, or because you have already seen the challenges. Now there is no time is given by the doctor. Patients are more informed than the rep himself, and a lot of other challenges. So now how you are helping the sales guy in the clinic to improve the in-clinic effectiveness? Anything you've been implementing, we can bring to this on this table.
So actually, I would talk more from the marketing angle, because as a marketeer, how can we help a sales rep is delivering the right messages, which is very innovative and only for our brand. Differentiator, as said by Mr. Anil, how we are differentiating with others. So there are two, three things which we can look at. When we see our visual aids or the marketing communication, earlier we used to see when we used to do a product, launches, 7 to 8 slides were there, and rep used to detail for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and there are discussion which was happening. Nowadays, when, for example, I take example of vonoprazole. Now 50 plus companies are there who are talking about vonoprazole, and doctor is saying, no, there is outside the clinic, it is mentioned, please don't discuss vonoprazole. So in these kind of a scenario, you have to look at that how can I come with a single slide or maybe maximum 2 slide message, which is very unique to me. Monoprazole is in the market. How I am different. Though I have maybe a different packaging which can help the patient. Okay, my price is also less, or maybe any other USPs which we have to look at, which is talking about that how I am different compared to the. So these kind of things which we have to look at from the marketing angle. But when I see in the training or the sales leader, how they have to drive is they have to make a framework for a call. There is a proper RCPA which should be happen. In RCPA, there should be a more of a quantitative discussion should happen. Now, what the RCPA is happening in the industry is this X product is coming or not, right? What is the quantity of that product is coming? In which duration it is coming? From which doctor it is coming? These kind of a question, I am sure we are losing it because the kind of a, right now, people which are there in the industry, we are losing that quantitative analysis of the RCP. Moment you get a right RCP, right, that this X doctor is prescribing me 40 units of vonoprazole across, or maybe any other molecule in a month, then there is and which brand, obviously, because we have to convert from that brand. Then there is a pre-call discussion should happen. There is a three buckets to it. There is a pre-call, duration of the call, and the post-call feedback. I'm talking about the pre-call discussion where if a rep is alone, then he will make a mind in the frame that okay, this doctor is writing X brand. How I'm better than that? Should I talk about that he's missing out particular thing in this brand? Should I talk about, that this molecule which I'm coming, it is better than the previous generation of the molecule? Can I give some stats? So that kind of a pre-call discussion should happen, pre-call planning should happen. And then there is a during the call discussion, how you start a call. There can be a different grabbers as per the neuromarketing. You can go and you launch the product, with some coconut and all, some surprises you can give, or maybe you can come with the contrast that how the before and after look like with our product. These kind of a grabbers, or maybe there can be an emotional connect with a doctor that you are giving hypertension, product for 10 patient, but out of 10 patient, only 5 are having a BP control, right? So these kind of a grabbers is required to start a call, which take the mind share of your doctor as per the neuromarketing. And then you can discuss about your product, the solution which you're giving. Right? What happening is in the industry is sales guys in the pressure of the sales, he's going and he's pushing the product. He's not looking to solve the doctors as well as the patient problem. The call is a problem solver. As a rep, you are a problem solver and you have to solve the problem of your customer, whether it is a patient, whether it is a doctor. From that mindset, if you're going and discussing, you will find that the whole discussion will be very different during the call. And maybe there is a discussion which will happen in between the doctor, we have to make a post-call feedback. In post-call feedback, doctor may say that I will look at this, or maybe I required a scientific article, or maybe he want to attend a medical marketing initiative, a CME to understand about more about the molecule. This post-call discussion should be noted down and should be planned. If a rep can do by individual, then definitely, or maybe he has to share with his managers to get the things done. I think these kind of a framework, if it is followed, I'm telling you, the call conversions or the ineffectiveness in clinic effectiveness will be next level. One more point I would like to drive in during the call, there are different types of doctors. I will just bucket in very simple 3 language, which will be easy for our audience to understand. Science, art, and commerce. Science means doctor who is inclined towards, learning more about the science of the product, right? That category of the doctor where you can influence them talking about the scientific points or maybe just sharing the things. Second is the art, where doctor is looking more of a, innovation, communication, or the relationship he's having with the rep or a manager. That is the art part of the, segment of a doctor. And third is a commerce. Commerce, you understand in our world also, there is an engagement which will happen. And this is also in the series. First science comes, followed by art, and last is a commerce. That's how a rep goes and convert a doctor. I think understanding the different set of customer also help sales rep to make a pitch. So that is also keep in the mind.
Yes. Lovely. I think you have given a very comprehensive, solution towards, how it can be done. Yeah, Pratik, you'd like to add something?
I think Sahil has covered the most part of it. Probably what I would want to bring is 2 lenses. One is the marketeer lens, and one is the FSO lens or the representative lens. So, speaking from a marketeer lens, a strategy is as good as execution. Okay, and the pillars of your execution are largely your medical reps, then your managers, and so on. what marketeers can do to improve in-clinic effectiveness is the first part that I'm going to talk about. More often than not, and sometimes I'm guilty of it too, we try to bombard our rep with a lot of information that's available. The focus is on, ensuring that the content on the VA comes out verbatim in front of the doctor. I think, and most FSOs or most reps, try to do that when you are in the joint field work without realizing whether the doctor has time, no time, or what is the most important aspect that you need to deliver first. So, as a marketeer, what's your level of involvement in the training aspect? Not only from the scientific aspect of the product or the scientific aspect of the therapy, but what we often miss out is the problem solving. So it's not more often than things go wrong, but when things go wrong, what to do? The first call rep will make is to his manager or to a marketing product manager. So मैंने ऐसा बोला doctor told me this, what do I say? How well can I prepare my rep to handle these sort of problems, and with nuanced responses which not only build his credibility inside the chamber, but also the simplicity that he can bring to my campaign in front of the doctor that really creates the impact what the brand manager wants to. So when you're dealing with 300, maybe 400 representatives across the country, the challenging is more daunting. Okay, the more you want to be at a level where your smartest rep and your not so smartest rep can deliver the message with equal impact. I think that's where the role of a marketer steps in. How can you crystallize your communication to a simplest level? That's one, and then accordingly, each rep to its own. The level of degree of smartness or the alertness that he brings to the chamber, he will definitely navigate it in a better way, and you will have to give him additional tools as well. That's one piece from the marketeer lens where to enhance the impact of the campaigns. Now let's look at it from an FSO or a rep lens. Okay, what happens to a rep? There are maybe 4 or 5 brand managers within a division on the best day, and maybe 2 or 3 brand managers in a small division. Probably they're handling 10 to 12, 14 brands maybe. Now, how does he prioritize each brand? How does he understand what brand to speak or what campaign to drive? So that's where the degree of prioritization that we can teach them, especially what Sahil spoke about, the RCPA management, how we can deeply penetrate into the questioning that we can do and then help them prioritize. So this is again in the form of a booklet or in the form of a regular training intervention that we can do to the reps to help them assess their market, their competition, and their customers better. So from these two lenses, these were a few bits that I would want to highlight.
Yeah, thank you. So there is one thing, what I understand, because I work mostly into sales. So when Shahil spoke about art, science, and science, art, and commerce, and you bring in 2 lenses. Now let us, I think, companies should focus more on quality of the call rather than the quantity.
True,
Because we always say that 8 calls, 10 calls, 12 calls. I think that should not be the measure right now. We should put, because if you wanted to make some kind of sense in the clinic, you can't run just by meeting them.
Yeah,
I
impact
think
has
that
to be
is,
seen over frequency.
yes. I think to make an impact. So now the question to Anil sir. Sir, now you know that patients are aware, patients are informed, doctors are tech-enabled. So how can MR be empowered in this tech-enabled world to enhance efficiency? So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and it's very pertinent today to our industry as we are grappling with the nuances in a tech-enabled world today. So when I look at it, I think pharma has made a huge amount of difference in the last 5 to 6 years in terms of integrating technology into the different sphere of operations. And I would say that goes across the value chain, right from manufacturing to sales, marketing, and customer service. But are we there yet? I think it's a big no, because when I compare our industry, with e-commerce, with FMCG, I think there's a lot that we can do in terms of using data and integrating it meaningfully to understand a customer. So first things first, when we have a field force, see, our field force is our biggest asset. And the selling cost today, make no mistake, Sahil talked about the investment and the return on investment. When we look at our selling cost, it is the biggest line item today in our P&L. So how are we really managing it and how are we channelizing our resources? So I think first is the use of smart data, because today the world of data has taught us that one size fits all doesn't work. When we look at it from a customer window, why don't we look at it from our internal customer window itself? So, is there a way of integrating data and personas and profiles of our field force across different cohorts, and therefore trying to get meaningful patterns out of it in terms of understanding, what the training needs are? So if we adopt a one size fits all approach towards training needs and have simulations and workshops, it may be effective to a certain extent, but we need to figure out that we have a huge mix. And today, thanks to attrition in our industry, today a lot of new people are coming into the system and they take time to adopt. So having these user profiles and user persona and integrating those data in terms of using smart data and AI to understand the training needs, I think is the critical first step. And then based on those training needs over a period of time, we really need to assess, through smart data, through machine learning, and try to fulfill the skill gaps that exist, with the medical reps in terms of their capability. So we need to have fixed parameters. So actually, Sahil brought it out in the in-clinic process, the entire in-clinic process, right from the start to the neuromarketing, to go and trying to build a conviction and doing the post-call. So I think in those areas at each step, can we integrate data meaningfully to understand where the rep is proficient, where the rep is a learner, where the rep needs improvement. So there's nothing right or wrong over here in terms of the skills of the rep. It's just a mirror, and that guides the area manager more effectively to be an effective coach. Now, the main problem here is that the area manager and the regional manager, I think more than coaching, they are looking at productivity and increasing prescriptions and increasing sales. But then if we are not able to coach our reps effectively, and we are not able to identify the gaps in the skill areas and precisely work on those skill gaps in order to bring them up the curve in these areas, then how are we going to improve rep efficiency? So using data and technology to not only understand the training needs, but also to pick up skill gaps is very critical. The third aspect then is, of course, using data to understand customers. So see, in a master database, we all have meaningful groups of customers. We have a full user profile. We know what is the years of practice they have, what is the specialization they do, how many years of experience they have, what is their patient load, what are their interest areas. In terms of interest areas in the scientific arena, which specific categories are they interested in? In super specialization, which areas of super specialization they have maximum interest in, what is their attitude and approach towards our category, towards our molecule, do they believe in protocols, do they believe in evidence? So these type of user profiles are available. So now, based on these user profiles and the data, can we all integrate them together in terms of understanding how it is going to lead to a predictive analytics? So if we have a particular customer at this point in time towards a particular concept standing there on a given level, so maybe the customer may be indifferent at the moment, he may not be completely inclined, or he may be completely inclined. So having understood that, we get a better idea of which is the customer where the probability of conversion for efficiency is going to be better. And accordingly, we can have customized tools at those level of customers and integrate them when we are having the in-clinic or even the out-clinic process of interaction with these customers, so that we build in a kind of a very personalized service system and value-based offering in order to really delight the customers and to build meaningful partnerships and make sure that we build a sustainable model of partnership with these customers. So it's not too much about investment and being very hyper aggressive in terms of spending money, but it's more in terms of, choosing wisdom and discretion in terms of optimizing the spend, so that we are able to better understand our customers and integrate our tools and our infrastructure to understand these customers, segment them properly, and therefore to bring them up the curve in terms of stages of adoption into greater efficiency. So the rep has got to be, digitally savvy today, which means that people who are in the system for a very long time, they may have a mindset, or they may have something that we call as digital resistance. So how does the organization build in a culture of digital savviness in order to integrate digital? So we need to ensure that the mindset and the blocks in the mind of our people are all put to rest, the concerns are addressed, and people are groomed to think digitally and integrate digital tools in communication today. Because today a doctor wants a rep who's fast and a rep who's smart in terms of giving him meaningful information within those 40, 50 seconds. If
Yeah.
I'm able to do it, it's great. If I'm not able to do, then what do I end up doing? I end up flipping up the pages and saying, sir, this is my product. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
So I
True.
think the rep has got to be smart and fast. And it is the job of the organization, the training, OD, the line management, the marketing team, to empower the rep in order to integrate digital tools into the sphere of work and be more productive today.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. To add to your, this insight, what I understood, on seeing, because I'm managing more than 15 companies as a distributor, and I see a lot of reps coming and meeting me. So what I realized is they're very technically strong. Maybe product knowledge sometimes maybe I rate our generation is better, but technically they are much better than us, because this generation, they understand all managing social media, and also connecting with the even doctor through some kind of uh, connection. So I think enabling them in their strength rather than imposing what.
ICSP lost you.
Maybe some network like this. Pushku?
Hello,
Yes, sir,
ICS?
getting him connected again.
Yeah.
Please go ahead with the discussion till then.
Anil sir, I think coming back to the point that you spoke about, digital resistance, I think we see a lot of it, especially in some of the elder representatives who have been here for a long time. How do you suggest, while we speak at an at an emotional level or empathy level, and probably even in certain cases at a mandatory level, but then how do you really move the needle in such representatives or managers as such, because sometimes they're hand in gloves with them? How do you really move the needle? How do you suggest that?
Yeah, so I think this is a very pertinent question that you have answered, and most of the organizations are grappling with these issues, particularly in the case of tenured reps.
Mm.
And I too, I've been part of the same experience that you are talking about.
Mm.
Because see, what happens here is that it's all boils down to the element of trust.
Mm.
So are we doing it basically to police the people? Because that is the feeling that they have, that we are using it to track, the amount of time that they're spending in the field. We are using it to track their live locations and what exactly they are doing. So I think the first is we need to give them a comfort factor. It's not so much about tracking you. We are at least bothered about it. So the mindset of the person needs to be put at ease, because that is coming out as a number one reason, particularly in the area of the tenured reps. So what we need to do is we need to have a separate conversations with these people. So there's no point in talking to them in front of the entire group. So maybe once your cycle meeting is over, or before your cycle meeting starts, or maybe you pick up a special time where you can call them over high tea, especially this group of people. And I think you ask them to rattle out all their concerns, whatever they have in their minds. So having open conversations and giving them the confidence about the purpose of it. So the purpose of this is not really to track you, and we are not going to do any of those things. So that element of trust has to be communicated to them. It has to be told very clear to them that the objective here is that today the industry is changing, and if we don't change, the customer is really not going to see us and accept us, and whatever we do, we are not going to create our identity in the minds of these customers in the changing world today. And we have to talk to them about the explicit benefits, what it is going to give us in terms of our understanding,
Absolutely.
in terms of helping the productivity. So we need to do a demo and demonstrate in front of them. You do a call in front of a doctor and you pick up all the data
Absolutely.
and tell them, see, this is what we are observing. The data analytics is also tell you what would have been the ideal approach in terms of handling an objection, or in terms of asking the pertinent questions to get the insights about the doctor's practice. So one is what you have delivered, and the other is what is the ideal approach, what would have been a better approach
Absolutely, sir.
to do it.
Absolutely, sir.
We are able to see these gaps, and it's more about building the capability of our teams so that, we stand relevant in relevant changing times.
Yeah, so it all boils down to what kind of transparency do you bring to them and what kind of conversations you have with them around the topic. I think that's where it matters, And talking about the antithesis, you have some smarter chaps, who know how to navigate the tool better. They adopt it better, but
Correct.
then they don't use it at the right time. So it's giving a reflection that, okay, it is being used, it is being demonstrated, but is it done at the right time, at the right place, with the right intent? So I think both the worlds exist. I think it's while it's not only a marketing's role, but also the field force or the area manager, training manager, to ensure we bring both the threads together and
Correct.
drive the tool as it should be used. So thank you, sir.
But having said that, this is not a very easy task. I can
Absolutely.
tell you that. So it cannot happen with just one intervention.
True,
So it
true, true.
needs to be sustained. And as you rightly said, you need to take it down the line. So
Yeah.
from the leadership, it has to move down to the zonal manager, NSM, regional manager, area manager. So you need to involve the hierarchy, and it need to do it in a sustained period of time. Not
True.
very easy, but
Absolutely.
definitely we
I
can
think
make
one
efforts
common
to achieve.
complaint that we always get sometimes is, and I think it works both ways. When they talk on our iPad, sir, बहुत छोटा दिखता है. We see it, the doctor can't see it. It's very small. Visual aids were better. And when you give an LBL, sir, why don't you upload this LBL in the iPad itself? So I think they oscillate on both the worlds. So sometimes it gets challenging, but then we try and do our best with such chats.
Yeah, Pratik, I think we have also seen when 10 years back we adopted iPads in doctor
Yeah,
release. So earlier then we talk about the benefit of the iPads. We
correct.
do the interactive activities on
Yeah.
iPad when doctor is touching on MCQs, he's seeing the videos and all. And that created some engagement is happening between a doctor and a rep. So that's they appreciated and they adopted fast. And as rightly said by Mr. Anil, it's more about human touch because ultimately we are dealing with humans. So
True.
all these senior people who are there who want to adopt, there is an emotional bonding or a connect which we have to create so that they can understand the purpose behind why we want to do a change. It is ultimately their benefit that this change is happening and entire industry is changing. As everybody knows, change is the
True,
only
true, true.
constant. Apart from that, we also have to sensitize them with the data. Some of the things which we can look at where the proper, calls are happening, quality discussion is happening. Now we are having an AI based
Yeah, yeah,
apps. We can
yeah.
understand in the heat
Sure.
maps, where the eyeballs of a doctor is moving in the iPad. What are the key messages where his eyeball movement is there, where the focus is there. And
Absolutely.
all the interaction scores are coming through, AI based iPads. So this is helping, and this model we can see. Okay, when we see the control group where we have used these kind of interactive activities, how the in-clinic time has improved, which is directly proportional to the secondaries or the primaries of your
True,
brand,
true, true.
versus some of the territories which are more unionized, where these kind of a discussion not happen, and how
Yeah,
the business are moving. I think these are the some of the things which we can look at. But most important piece is all are humans. First, we have to connect with the emotional, connect the human, and lead by
absolutely.
example, as rightly said by Mr. Anil during the call, and followed by sensitization through data analytics and all.
I think if we can properly answer what's in for me, I mean, most reps have this question. So if I
Uh,
do this, what's in for me? I mean,
uh,
if we, as long as a marketer, we are able to answer that with the solutions that you gave about the prescription uptake or the secondary uptake, and your ability to drive secondary better. I think as long as we are able to answer that and make this tool or position this tool as a tool to get nearer to their incentives or the target achievement, I think that will pull the lever much more faster than anything else. So I think
yes.
answering what's in for me becomes more important in such cases. Thank you so
Correct.
much, Sai.
Yeah. So there are a lot of questions coming in the group. So let me ask the question because there are many people joined and some relevant questions have come. So the question is, as a brand manager, how do you ensure your brand story is delivered as intended in the clinic? This question came, from the team.
Do you think you want to
Yeah,
respond?
anybody
Okay, I'll take
can
it.
ask.
I'll try and take it. So I think what it boils down to probably what has worked for me and in multiple frameworks, what has worked to me and to ensure execution at the at a all India level or probably at a level, where the rep understands the simplicity of your communication. I think most doctors tend to associate an indication with a solution or an indication with a treatment. What we can do is, as how much can we simplify our features and benefits to directly impact the indication association in the minds of the doctors. I think that's one area that I would really work on, simplifying the communication. Maybe my rep should be ready with a 10-second detailing. We all talk about a 30-second pitch. My rep should be ready with a 10-second detailing pitch. If it's meeting in the lobby, meeting in the corridor, he will be having a 15-minute discussion pointers as well. But then if he has only 10 seconds, the conversation should be simple enough to execute it. Simplicity becomes one. Second is regular interventions of understanding, because what happens is we are in cycles of communication. Maybe a couple of brand managers before me ran a campaign which was very well appreciated by the reps, and which very well stuck with them for a very long time. The message continues. Okay, even for that brand, even today when the communication is new, it slightly continues, or it's on the top of the mind, or they kind of associated the brand with that kind of a campaign. So being cognizant of that and having regular interventions to say that, boss, the communication changed, we are talking only about this, we are talking only what's on the visual aid, we are talking only what's relevant to build a brand association in the minds of the doctors. So I think these three pointers really have an impact in the minds of the reps. And most importantly, before they sell the brand, they have to like the brand manager to a larger extent. So
Yes,
how good
absolutely.
a brand manager
Everything revolves
is.
around it. If you
Yes,
don't like the brand
if
manager,
they don't like the
no
brand manager, even if the
communication will
brand
reach.
is, yeah, if they don't like the brand manager, even if the brand is good. So it all boils down to what kind of a problem solving or solution orientation do you have towards them. So for them, head office is a complex thing to navigate. Maybe if you can help them navigate sometimes, here and there, the message spreads fast. Okay, this is our guy, and he helps us out, and he's ready. And I think I mean it. It's not only to gain their support to do it, but once you pull out or these blockages, the efficiency really shoots up. And I've seen it happening. Okay, so you help them navigate the complexities of this. You simplify the communication for the rep. You ensure that the communication is consistent. You don't change it very often. And the more you simplify it, the more you communicate on a regular basis, I think the chances of having a higher execution is far more better than just doing a more complex or a feature laden or a benefit laden communication through doctor without a clear association of indication and the molecule. So I think that is something which I do probably, and that is what something can help others as well.
Great.
So,
Great.
ICS,
Thank you.
can I take this question in the context of launching a new
Yeah,
product?
please.
Yeah. So let us say that
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a brand
Please
manager
go ahead.
of say a GLP-1 analog. Right now we have other combinations which are in. Just say I'm a brand manager of GLP-1 analog, which I'm coming out in the market, and I set my marketing objectives and my market share goals and all that. Now I need to really understand from where am I going to get my business. So one is I can get my business from an undetected pool of patients where I can work towards detection. So my rep, first of all, needs to be very clear about my source of growth. So based on source of growth, then the activity and the communication can be aligned. The next source of growth would be from the patient pool who are on SGLT2 and other, oral anti-diabetics. So we need to engineer a shift which is known as a class share shift. So take, for example, now we are launching this new product and my rep is very congruent with what is my objectives, right? In terms of my sales objectives and also in terms of my communication objectives. So the process of a launch is something which I've always spoken to my teams and equated it to a football match. So basically, first is you begin the opening, and here I completely agree with what Sahil said. You state an interesting fact which just arouses the interest of the doctor. He talked about neuromarketing. Well, you can say that today sudden death is seen at least to the tune of 40% in patients who are less than 40 years of age, as compared to 70-80% in patients who are above 60 years of age 2 decades back. So the moment you speak in this language, it's a surprising fact and it arouses the attention of the doctor. So this in the football match is like the kickoff. So you just start the match with a kickoff. Now what you do is the next step is you have to ask intelligent interview questions so that you are able to really understand the protocol of the doctor. How do they view different molecules and treatment algorithms? Where does this molecule come into their algorithm? Is it coming ahead as per the guidelines, or is it coming lower down? What are the barriers? What are the motives? So not more than 3 questions. So in the scope of a football match, this is like passing it and trying to move into the enemy territory forward, right? Towards your competitors and those brands whom you're trying to convert it. Now, having understood the psych and the motivation of the doctor, you need to show as to why your product is a better solution as compared to the incumbents. So what problem does it solve and how it is more efficient as compared to the existing standards? So here you are demonstrating your capability. So you have smarter reflexes and better capabilities to outsmart your rival players in the field and come towards the D of the enemy camp. Now, when you come towards the D, you have to end with a good validation. So for these type of patients, how do you see the role of GLP-1 analogs? Do you think that they could have high utility? So you're trying to get a validation. And in the process of validation in the football match, you're trying to get the goalkeeper in a very favorable position so that you have room to put the ball into the goalpost. And finally, you close by taking a commitment with the validation of the doctor. And that is where you try to get the ball into the goalpost when you've got the goalkeeper out. So I give this kind of an example for the call process. So it's simple 4 steps: the opening, the interview questions or the body of the call, then the validation, and then the close. So on all these parameters, the area manager can evaluate the rep for the in-clinic efficiency, what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, what are the areas of improvement, and give coaching inputs and guidance accordingly so that we are able to, improvise on these parameters. So on a lighter note, just
that's
bring
a
it to a
lovely,
football match.
a lovely analog.
Anil sir, just a follow-up question on this. Hello,
Yeah,
Anil sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah,
Just a
please go
follow-up
ahead.
question on this. I think we are in a branded generic market. Probably once you launch a dydrogesterone or a GLP-1 analog, maybe you are the
Correct.
200 brand probably. So
Correct.
let's say I'm a rep and a brand manager of a 200 brand launching GLP-1 into the doctor's mind, where at some places it's categorically written that maybe you're not allowed, or probably you're launching a antifungal cream, or you're probably launching a cough syrup, where maybe 200 brands before you exist. What can a brand manager do to differentiate his field communication in the minds of the doctor? That's number one.
Yeah. Correct.
And second, how does he really plan to get the initial mind share and access in the minds of the doctors? So what is your recommendation when it comes to maybe the later launches?
Yeah. So basically, if you look at the doctor's practice, there are clearly 2 categories, whether I'm a doctor, whether I'm a regular consumer or a homemaker. One is a high involvement category and the other is a low involvement category. Now, as you said, we are in a Me Too generics, and very often the majority of the categories that we are into is low involvement categories, with the reflex of the customer is just subliminal. He doesn't think, he doesn't evaluate data and all that. He just takes an instant decision. And the decision that he takes is basically the brand which is top of mind recall. So the key for a marketer here is to get top of mind recall. Now, if you look at the mindset of the customer here, the mindset is not motivated to process information. So if I try to bombard the customer with a 3-page or a 4-page visual, he's just going to say that you stop it, I know all these things. So here it is how about you play on creativity and how do you engage the customer with different senses to have a sensory orientation and promotion. Let me tell you what I mean. Say, for example, you have a product. I'm just giving one example in a low involvement category, which has got a strawberry flavor or a mango flavor for that instant. So can we do something different? Can we tell the doctor, you see this, okay, with your nose. And what happens is that the doctor gets a very strong aroma of mangoes, a very strong aroma of strawberries. So what you have done is you have smartly captured the eyeball of the customer without loading the customer with information, because the customer is not motivated to process information. So here basically the challenge for marketers is to find a creative space where in that clutter you can really stand out with some creativity and by involving different senses of a customer. So typically we use sight and sound. Nowadays we use AVs, we use VR, we use AR, right? Can you use scent? Can you use touch and feel? So if you have a product, which is nice, it's a very small tablet, which is convenient, it is smooth. So can you make the customer feel it? Or, it disperses rapidly within second as compared to the competitor. So one has to use sight, sound, scent, touch and feel to involve the customer. And if it's a high involvement category like a breakthrough technology, then of course you do all your out-clinic activities, you KOL advocacy.
True. I think this is helpful.
I can give you is Amul. You take Amul. Amul is top of mind because just see how they have integrated into multiple dimensions of the consumer, the socio-economic, cultural milieu. They are so contemporary. They blend humor and they have invaded into every Indian household. It's an absolutely low involvement category, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Anil sir. Thanks, Pratik. So there are many questions, but out of the time, considering the time as a important factor, so I'd like to take the last question to the team. So that is, what role does digital play in enhancing in-clinic effectiveness in today's scenarios?
So I think, ICS, I would like to take
Any
this
one of
question
you can.
because we are doing this. I would give the example. So there are the brands which we are marketing in certain categories in cough and anti-allergic. And digital connect becomes one more additional, source of a call, because in this world, that 15 to 20 reps are meeting the doctor. Sometimes the call misses happen, right? And depending on the category of the brand, or maybe you are at the leadership position in that category, or maybe at the bottom, you have to take a call that you have to go digital or not. For example, if you are a leader brand, definitely you should be part of a digital thing, because you are driving that particular therapy, you are driving that particular molecule. So what we did is, we have a brand which is leader in the category, and we have a omni-channel marketing as well for that category brand at the prescribers as well as the non-occasional prescriber. The source of growth of this is that we want to continue the prescription at our prescribers as well as to increase the P by D, prescription per doctor. So there are already the messaging which is going from my team, the physical calls which are happening. At the same set of doctors, we are also having a digital omni-channel marketing through email, WhatsApp, and the messaging and everything is same. It totally depends on the doctor's time, that if he want to go more in depth, then he can click. We can see the CTRs and how that it is moving to the microsite, talking about the product details as well as the molecules, whatever the new happening in that particular therapy. So basically, it is taking the mind share of a doctor, that if I am in a cough syrup, I will talk about entire curve. What is happening in curve? What is the experts are saying, what are the molecule to prefer, in which dosage to prefer, in which indication to prefer, in which age group to prefer, all about curve. So it totally depends, and we are seeing that through omni-channel marketing as well, digital marketing, we can now map the business. So there are, different matrices. You can see maybe the lead indicators or the lag metrics, where we found that in the lead indicator, the CTRs and how it is moving, as well as in lag metrics, we also track how the RCG is moving at set of control doctors where we are doing the omni-channel marketing. And it is impacting. Definitely it is impacting. It is helping us to retain the business, because as well as it is also helping us to improve the business. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Pratik, you'd like to add?
No, I think
The
what
last
Sahil
question
has
of digital.
comprehensively explained it. What I would want to bring it is, movement of the customer across the adoption ladder. I think that's where digital really helps. You get to know how much have seen it, how much are probably willing to buy. Your attention, information, and decision and action. So I think moving that ladder, I think it's become critically easy for a marketer to understand. What's the next initiative you do if you're struggling at at a decision point. What differentiated campaigns can you drive to move from interest to decision. So I think that ladder really understanding that ladder really helps, and digital plays an important role in that. Having said that, it also helps in expanding your reach. Maybe your rep can reach probably not all the people all the time, but with digital you can reach at a regular frequency with update information and differentiated information at regular intervals. So I think a blend of both of these can really help the rep and the brand and a marketer as well.
Great. Thank you very much. Anil sir, your final
Yeah.
thoughts on technology to improve the clinic.
Yeah, so I think today we are living in an era of data-driven decisions. So there's no way in which you can separate data and technology from the sphere of our operations. I think we need to get smarter. And it is not only sales and marketing who does it, but I think the entire organization should mobilize the support behind it so that we empower technology to the medical rep so that it's translated effectively into practice and we are able to move up the needle in terms of productivity. So we need to build in a culture from top to down and create a tech-enabled environment for the rep to perform optimally using digital tools.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks to the team for bringing a lot of insights into why do we need in clinicness and how it has been done and what are the future aspects and probably it's going to help the pharma industry on the whole. So thanks for joining. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anil sir. Thank you so much, ICS. Thank you so much, Sahil.
Yeah, thanks, ICS. Thanks, Mr.
Yeah,
Anand.
thanks,
Thanks, Pratik.
Sahil.
It was a lovely session. It's a lot of learning which has happened together as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pratik, Sahil, and Dr. ICS. It's been a pleasure to be part of this panel. And it's wonderful to hear from your experiences of what you are really doing and for sharing your thoughts, with the viewers today. Thank you so much. It's been a
Thanks so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khushbu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Good day.
Yeah, Kushbu, we can, we can finish.